Live from the 47th Annual Lone Star Street Rod Association Street Run in Granbury, Texas. I might as well go with it.
Yeah.
Pretty good at that.
Thank you. It's the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, we talk to another participant in this weekend's events here at Hewlett Park. Konrad has the car clinic, and we'll have this week's auto news. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars, King Konrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin, and our ever-popular and effervescent engineer, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Ainsley. That's the hand that you see coming in.
That's the hand.
Yeah, that's David and Jeff over there.
Uh-huh.
And why are we having it this way? Because if we don't, you're not going to be able to see anything. So if you wanted to see something,
look at me.
We thought that Konrad
would put me front and center.
Wow.
Actually, look at our guests' cars, because they have had some wonderful cars have showed up today.
So I want to introduce you right now to Randy Daigle, and he is the owner of that 1940 Ford Coupe.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you.
And you're another one of those that puts a Chevrolet engine in a Ford.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I want you to tell me.
You're
It's
good,
good to
man.
meet you, by the way, and thanks for coming by and talking
No
to
problem.
us. I want you to convince me that that's the way to go. Instead of putting like a Ford Coyote engine in it or something else. Tell me.
Yeah, there's a couple reasons.
Yeah.
First one, we do a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
And if you should break down, there will be, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, an old farmer will have an old broken down Chevrolet out in the pasture, and you can get a part off of that thing that'll get your car running.
Do you speak from experience?
Probably a couple times.
And I can hear Randy Weldon, one of our Ford friends, saying, listen to the common thing. He broke down in a Chevy, and the farmer had a broke down Chevy.
That's about
Just
the
joking.
size of it.
But
yeah.
you're talking about an engine they probably made $100 million of through the years.
There's so many
That's
parts out there, and they're cheaper.
Availability.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
They're cheaper than a Ford?
Go find
Oh,
a
yeah.
Coyote part someplace in the middle of a field.
Yeah, well, I don't know. That's why I'm saying you need
Yeah,
to
yeah.
convince me that that's the way to
You
go.
can
Okay, I get
probably
it.
you can probably build that 350 Chevrolet motor for a third of the cost that it would take you to
Seriously?
build a Ford.
Seriously.
Comparable parts,
How long you own that car?
Oh, probably 20 years.
Yeah. Did you buy it like that?
No, sir.
Yeah.
It was in a
field.
up in Ponca City, Oklahoma.
I've been
Field
there.
car.
I've been to Ponca City.
It was probably his car back when he was
It was
born.
the home of, I think it was the home of Conoco at the time,
I don't
way
know.
back in the day.
We were up there at Oklahoma to a car show for the NSRA, and there was a I was looking for a 40. I wanted a 40 Ford all my life.
Sure.
A friend of mine in high school had one, and I fell in love with that car, and that's the one I wanted. And in the meantime, I found that somebody was selling one, had several cars, and this was one of them, and it was in pretty rough shape. Believe me, I had to do complete restoration.
Did you take the whole thing apart? Everything?
Oh yes, everything.
Is it? Did you take the body off the frame and
Yes,
all that?
sir.
Wow.
Sandblasted it, new floorboards, everything, the whole thing.
And you did it all yourself?
Yes, sir.
Wow, man.
The only thing I did not do is the paint, the exhaust, gas, and interior, the glass and interior.
Yeah.
But other than that, I did everything else.
Well, you did a stupendous job. That
Thank
is
you.
really a pretty car.
What color do you call that?
It's a 2004 Mitsubishi Green. It's called New Zealand Green, or PPG calls it Tahitian Green Pearl. So
It's a great color because it's not one you see on a lot of
I'm just
street
going to say
rods.
you never see it.
It's a cool, darker, metallic green that really you don't see very often on street roads.
well, my wife told me, she says, the next car you build, I want it green. Green is not my favorite color. But I saw that color on a 2004 Mitsubishi going down the highway. I like that color. That's the color it's going to be.
And you're married to the person who told you to paint it green.
Yeah, she's
Got to
the-
make her happy.
She's the boss.
Yeah, all of them are. And I like the old American racing wheels
Yes, sir.
as well with the argent centers. Kind of sets the green off. Pretty cool.
It's kind of got that bullet look to it.
Yeah, the
Yep.
Bullet Mustang green
Yeah.
and those wheels. Yeah.
Everything about it, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Exactly.
It's a good running car. We go a lot of places. Been to Utah and back. I mean, we
So you put
Not-
miles on it.
not afraid to drive it.
That's good. Well, that's what you built it for. You know,
exactly.
I went the other way back in 1977 when I took the new Corvette, took it off the street. I didn't know what I was doing. Took it off the street and, you know, put the $1 million paint job on it and all the chrome under the hood and won the big trophies and all of that. But I couldn't drive it. What good is that? Yeah. And so I got a car now that I can drive, and I truly enjoy doing it.
So how many miles have you put on it, do you think?
I got right at 48,000.
AC work good?
Yes, sir.
Is it vintage air?
Yes, sir. It sure is.
You got shaved handles, so you got door poppers on them?
Yes. I can surprise people that way.
There you go.
Yeah.
Vintage air does a nice job. I mean, to fit so many different vehicles with a small collection of what they have available. They do a wonderful job of throwing cold air at you, which is so important.
And it's a custom unit, and it fits up. It's you can put it under the dash where it's not exposed and everything, and different
it's not like
louvers.
It's not like the hang-on air conditioning you used to get back in the 60s and 70s.
The great big ones that are like
the big aluminum thing that was underneath the dash took up all the footwell space.
But those truly are the better.
You ever been to a good guys meet?
Oh yes, sir. Fort Worth.
Tell me about the good guys meet. I want to know about that. I've never been to one. I stood outside the fence.
They go all out. They've got entertainment, and at the Fort Worth show, they have at the racetrack, NASCAR racetrack. We've been to one up in Dallas at the
baseball stadium.
No, sir.
Well, it's okay.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a long time ago.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, they put it on all over, and they put on a good show, and there's a lot of people. They'll have over 6,000 cars there.
Wow.
And
but they bring a swap meet or something to it as well?
Yes, sir. Yep.
So if you're looking for that specific part that you need, probably one of the best places to go.
It's a pretty good size swap
But you know, with 6,000 cars, you can't have a 6,000 car show in a place like this.
No.
And you know, that's the charm of some place like this.
Right.
And going to one of these smaller shows, you get to know the people here. You'll wind up running into a lot of them at the Good Guys event, and a huge event like that.
Sure.
And I'm sure that you've done that. So are you a member of a 34 group or a 35 or 40 or anything like that?
We're sort of a member of a TIP group.
What is that?
Which is it's just a group of guys that came together. It's not a club. We don't put on any shows, but we travel around together, and some of us have gotten older, and it's kind of
you two
cruise together.
So,
yes, sir.
So what does TIP represent?
I knew you were going to
Yeah, I
ask me
had
that.
to ask.
It's totally independent person. And I'm keeping it clean.
I like it. Now, I think I overheard you say something about the fact that you're from Louisiana originally.
No, sir. I'm born and raised in Houston.
Oh, you are?
My dad was from Louisiana.
I see.
Came over to Houston.
Were you born in St. Joe's Hospital?
Yes, sir, downtown.
How did I know that?
Because you were probably born there
I
also.
wasn't, but I got there as quick as I could. Yes. You're the generation that was born there. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, where'd you go to high school?
Stephen F. Austin.
Yeah.
In U of H. And that's the only education I got, other than what I've gotten myself.
Yeah, well, and we've all been right there with you in getting that education. So you've been a car guy all your life?
Pretty much, yes, sir. I probably started at about 10 years old working on lawnmowers and stuff and progressed from there.
Yep, I'm right there with you.
So you had the little string to pull on the governor when you were working on those little Briggs and Strattons. I did.
No, I actually had baling wire. I could tie it back.
Yeah. No, I just didn't want to get caught.
Yeah.
So what was your first hot rod? What was your first car?
Well, my first car was a 55 Ford that I bought in high school. The engine was blown up in it. I fixed it and drove it. And, of course, I went to the service, and the car stuff kind of gave me a break. And then when I got out, I got into it. And
you haven't stopped since.
Yeah, right, pretty much.
Now, is this the only hot rod that you have?
No, right now it is, yes,
Yeah.
sir. I had a 34 Ford four-door sedan, Bonnie and Clyde car.
Yeah.
And I had a
Flathead? Or
No, it
Still
has
a
Chevrolet,
Chevy.
Chevrolet motor in it. I went through it completely also, just like I did this one. And then I had the, I did just finished a 64 Falcon, and I've sold it.
Oh, wow.
And this is the one I'm going to keep. This is my baby.
Yeah. And
It's very reliable. Takes me anywhere I want to go. And
are you a racing fan?
used to be.
What kind of racing?
Drag racing.
Drag racing.
Yeehaw.
So Houston International.
Houston International or Dickinson.
Dickinson, yeah.
Yep. Back in the old days.
Yeah. Thank you. You didn't have to say that. But yes. Yeah.
Well, we're all old, so we can relate to
We
it.
can. Yeah. It's funny.
Some of us are. I'm sorry.
All of us are.
Yeah, take that back.
Yeah, not you. Take your hat off. Oh, wait a minute. So to that end, I went on the hot rod tour of Texas.
Okay.
And part of the tour, the 3-day tour from Victoria on up to this part of the state, we had a stop at a drag strip near Dripping Springs.
Mm-hmm.
And great little facility, mom and pop operated, had a great time. But I realized that I hadn't been on a drag strip. Last time I was on a drag strip was at Houston International Speedway. So that'll tell you how old I am.
Well, there was 2 tracks that I raced at. Porter.
Oh, yeah?
Which is in Humble.
Under the trees.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh,
that's
yeah,
where
yeah.
that's where I went.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, dirt field for
Barbecue pit.
everything.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a good track, though.
It was a good track.
Fun.
And then there was a little old abandoned airstrip in Dayton. I don't know if you ever went out there, but that was like a locals thing. We would go out there on Sunday. Cost you $3 to enter your car, and you just ran. And,
Till you ran out of gas.
Either that or ran out of pasture. One of the two, you know. It was in a cow pasture, just a little, not even a complete strip, you know. But it was fun days.
I want to
back
get
in
back
high
to your
school.
car and ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you ever get to a point where you're going, I'd like to do something to the car. I'd like to spend a little money on it. I might want to change out the wheels. Wait, you name it, whatever it is. Do you ever have those pangs anymore?
Yes, sir, I have.
And what have you done?
I haven't really done anything. It's just like it was. I've only done as far as maintenance and made a few things a little better, upgraded, headlights and different stuff like that, transmission. But the only thing I'd really need is it needs to be repainted. It's got a lot
It
of
does?
Yes, sir. It's got a lot of road chips. You drive them, that you're gonna get them.
Sure.
And just refreshed. That's all I really want it to do. But I don't know if that'll happen.
Sure don't look like it from here.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't look like it needs to be a repaint to me, but I'm not the judge, so it doesn't make any difference.
Well,
So where do you live today?
I live in Tomball, Texas.
Yep.
Neighbors.
Very close to me. I live in Lakewood Forest, right there.
Okay. Yeah.
Just-
I moved from Houston into Tomball in '79. Been there ever since, and it's growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we moved into Lakewood Forest in '95.
Okay. All right.
So-
Yeah. It's a good community.
Yep.
Beautiful. Still somewhat country, but that's going
Not
away.
really.
That's going
It's
away.
Grand
They're
Park-
building
Grand
everything all
Parkway
around
fixed
us.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it
Exactly.
has.
But
Well,
anyway,
Randy-
hello neighbors. I'm glad y'all are there.
Yeah, exactly. Randy Daigle, thank you so much for stopping by.
You're
Sharing
welcome.
your car with
Yeah.
us, beautiful.
No
Yeah.
problem. Enjoyed it.
I
I
love
thank
it.
you for having me on here,
bet.
and we're good people.
I
you
know that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to compliment you on one little thing that I see on your car. It says Ford Deluxe on the hood. That's a nice little touch. Most people don't do that. But I'm a big believer in little things like that.
Exactly. That's why I left it there. And you don't. Everybody says, "Why are you gonna leave that?"
Because that's what it is.
That's what it is, and
Well-
I like the script, and it just fits there.
Yes, sir.
Plus, to the people who know what Deluxe added to the body,
Right.
and I don't remember all of it, but I think it was turn signals, visors, and there might have been one or two others. We've got.
Well, the main thing is the grill.
Okay.
Pretty much on a 30, a 39 and 40 are pretty much the same, except for the dash and headlights and just some little things.
Beautiful car. Thanks.
Thank you
Really
very
is.
much.
Randy
Appreciate
Daigle,
it.
appreciate you stopping
No
by.
problem.
We'd love to hear from you. As a matter of fact, if you'd like to shoot us an email, here's our address: info@nwheeltime.com. That would be a direct line to Jeff Zekin, and you can say all of the nasty comments or sweet nothings,
Or I'll give them back.
or he'll give them
Give
back.
back the nasty comments.
He'll share.
Time now for Konrad's Car Clinic.
And it's a little bit of a continuation from last week. Remember last week we
No, I
talked
don't
about
remember last week at all.
carbon
remember
deposits
yesterday.
are inevitable. You
Yeah.
know, remember I talked about, as a hydrocarbon oxidizes, it was the little Pac-Man eating the oxygen molecule.
Yes, that-
And then
that
after
damn thing that
after
you
enough
had.
of that happens, it goes from oxidation to polymerization, where it starts to leave coatings behind inside the engine. Well, when you look at today's gasoline direct injected engines, they're much smaller, they're downsized, they're turbocharged, and the gasoline direct injection offers more control of the fuel system when it's sprayed, but it also means they're making it work a lot harder. And when you make an engine work a lot harder, you generate a lot more heat. So it really stresses the engine oil out even more. They also are doing all of this, adding an 8-speed, 10-speed automatic transmission, trying to squeeze every bit of power out of the smallest amount of the engine displacement as possible, and balancing that low-speed engine with the high engine load. And all those technologies are great in keeping the operating system close to that. Remember, we talked about the brake-specific fuel consumption sweet spot. But that creates the issues of oxidation of your engine oil. As we mentioned above, as the engine operates, it nears its most efficient under a very high load. When the engines are under that high load, they operate at much higher temperatures, and under those conditions, the extended period for oil changes, I believe, is a problem that the manufacturers are getting you to do. Because you got to think, when you turn an engine off, when you've run it hard, what happens to the temperature?
Goes up.
It goes up for a few minutes. So now you've turned it off. You've stopped all of the coolant moving through the engine. You've stopped all of the air moving through the engine. And now these small little high-tech engines have got all these little oil passages that do stuff like variable valve timing, cylinder displacement, turbocharging and stuff. And all of that oil is going to get superheated and get to that polymerization level much, much quicker. We know from defining a carbon deposit that it produces mainly the interaction with heat. When we put all of these pieces together, it makes sense that carbon deposits form in today's modern engines. Today's modern engines operate much more efficiently under heavy loads. They produce much more heat during operation, and that heat interacts with the unburned fuel and engine oil to form carbon deposits. So this is all to teach you, don't go with a 10,000-mile oil change. I'm not a believer in it. I am very much, depending on the quality of oil you use, you can go, I tell most people to change every 5. I've got Rochelle changing every 5, and she uses full synthetic in her, it's a Mobil 1 product in her Audi. And I still tell her to change every 5. And the Audi dealership is, no, you don't have to. And yes, she does, and she understands that.
My dad told me to. Shut up.
But it's a cheap insurance to change your oil more frequently, because in today's high-tech cars, when the engine fails, it's catastrophic. And when it fails, it's $8,000-$10,000 in some of these high-tech little engines. So, a $100 oil change is cheap by comparison to a $6,000, $8,000, $9,000 engine.
Yeah.
So
You had
change
me
your
at
oil
change it.
more frequently.
Yeah.
It's a low-cost insurance policy on your car.
Cool.
I do it by time. I don't put enough.
Well, because you don't
miles
put
on.
enough miles on. So what are you changing once a year?
Yeah.
And that's correct as well, because as you get condensation on your windshield in some of these mornings, not right now because it's so hot out, but in the cooler seasons, that same condensation you get on your windshield happens inside your engine. So it's introducing water to your engine oil. And if you don't if you don't start the car often enough to basically boil the water out, that water gets in there and causes contamination. So changing the oil on a once-a-year schedule is a good idea as well. If you're not putting the miles on it, you at least change it once a year.
I opened the hood a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, this is good.
Did you find some critters?
I had a couple of baby possums. They weren't babies. I would say that they were teenagers.
Yeah. They were
Did they-
tweeners. No.
They didn't do that. They were trying to.
They weren't that big.
No, they were. I mean, the bodies were probably that big, but it kind of took me back. I had to look at them because, at a distance, it almost looked like a rat.
At a distance, yeah.
They're like gerbils, about the size of a gerbil.
Yeah. Anyway, so they went down, and that was the last I saw of them.
Dual possum intake.
So they're still down there.
No, I've driven it since then. I don't think that they're down there.
It doesn't
anymore.
smell like
No.
Smoked
Granny and
possum.
Jethro's lunch.
No.
Nothing worse than stinky
No,
possum.
None of that. Yeah, dual possum intake.
So they just ran away.
They did the wrong way. Yes, they did.
We hope.
We do.
Well, that might
anyway.
be a good story for a future Conrad's Corner is what do you do to keep the critters out from
Vagrants.
under your hood?
Yeah, vagrants under the hood.
Vagrants.
It's funny because what I did was,
Varmints.
what I didn't do was, I have mothballs, which are very expensive, by the way,
And hard to get.
and hard to get. And I paid $5 for 2 bags of mothballs,
That's like a
believe it or
million
not.
moths.
So what I do is I take it's an enclosed bag. It's got the mothballs in it. It's got holes all in it.
Yep.
Just lay it right there on top of the intake manifold.
They don't like the smell.
No, neither does anybody else.
But they don't have rabies and they eat insects.
Correct. But they're,
They eat
it's
ticks.
not. Yeah. It's
They
just
will
not.
also chew on plastic.
I've not had that experience.
Yes, you have.
No, that was rats.
Okay. Well,
Same
rats.
thing, yeah.
No, I take that
possums.
back. Squirrels. It was
was
squirrels,
squirrels.
because they had
Squirrel.
left their
Because I
nut.
remember James fixed it for you.
Yeah, they had the nut droppings on top of the manifold. That's how I knew it was squirrels.
Easy.
And
Mars,
and
did you know that there were nut droppings?
on top of his manifold?
I haven't looked at your manifold in a long time.
And has
so I
your-
did not
has
know.
your-
You want to now?
No, that's all right. I'll take your word for
And
it.
has your car worked fine since James
Yes.
fixed it?
Yeah,
Good for him.
that works great.
Yep.
Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. Well, I wasn't going to do anything if it didn't, but glad to hear your air conditioning
It's
works
a lot
correctly.
of moths, I'm telling you.
All right, time now for a couple of stories making auto news headlines. Since we're running out of time, I needed to kind of edit what I'm going to tell you. I
Don
don't care
edited
about
himself?
reports of Honda pilot engine failure probed by NHTSA. Wholesale used vehicle prices ticked up slightly
Saw
in
that.
May, according to Mannheim.
Still going up.
Oh, here's one. Are you into Toyota Sequoias? Well,
It's a
the
good SUV.
redesigned 2023 Toyota Sequoia will start at $59,795 with the goal of tripling sales. Good luck on that.
Well, built off the new Tundra truck platform, I think they probably will because they weren't selling a whole lot of Sequoias last year.
Oh my God, they were 14 years old,
Yeah.
And
like
by
the truck.
And by the time they get here, we ought to be up about $7 a gallon.
Exactly.
Michael.
Soaring U.S. traffic deaths will be the subject of exceptionally timely House hearing. That's coming up. Last year, traffic deaths jumped 10.5% to 42,915, marking the highest number killed on U.S. roads in a single year since 2005.
Everybody getting back on the road after COVID.
Yeah, and the other problem is that,
Forgot how to drive.
well, and speeding. And
Less traffic. Some people have a tendency to take advantage of it.
The
and
Sam
drive
Houston
a little bit.
Tollway is a harbor of.
Well, I understand the new Grand Parkway. The cops are really aggressive out there.
They should be.
Yeah.
The speed limit to begin with is 75 out there in the high end of it. And you know what? Just stay the speed limit. 75 is fine.
It's
Plenty.
sufficient.
Yep.
Here's one I had to get in. You ready? Former Hollywood movie producer Harvey Weinstein, now in prison for being convicted of sex crimes, on Tuesday sued the U.S. business of Fiat Chrysler automobiles over a 2019 crash in which he flipped a Jeep Wrangler while trying to avoid a deer. Too bad it didn't kill him. Oh, that's not in there. I'm sorry.
Wait.
Weinstein is seeking $5 million in damages, saying the August 17th, 2019 accident in Bedford, New York, about 40 miles north of Manhattan, left him catastrophically injured and rendered paralyzed with significant and continuing conscious pain and suffering from what his lawyer called severe spine and back injuries.
He's a lion sack of horse manure.
According to the complaint filed in New York State Court in Manhattan, Weinstein was wearing his seatbelt when the brakes on the 17 Wrangler failed as he approached the deer, causing a rollover. Weinstein underwent back surgery that year, used a walker during the trial, hyped it up. He's awaiting trial in Los Angeles on other alleged sex crimes from 2004 to 2013, and he's pleaded not guilty.
Wonder if he's getting his back exercised while he's in prison.
Easy.
David, could you turn on the commercials, please? Thank you.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Konrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Real Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Real Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/InWheelTimeCarTalk.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. When you're on our Facebook page, please give us a like. Tell your friends about us and share our junk, if you would, please. You'll get Konrad's unicorn hunting features all week long with all things automotive, including new car reviews, upcoming events, cruise-ins, racing events, and other goodies. You can find the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. In Wheel Time can also be heard live on Facebook, YouTube, and on InWheelTime.com every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central. 30-minute podcasts available from your favorite podcast providers 7 days a week. In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is David Ainsley. Our Marketing and Advertising Manager and Video Technical Director is We Need More, Jeff Zekin.
Yep.
For Booking Agent and Podcast Editor, Mike Mars, and his royalty, King Konrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. Today's In Wheel Time was produced by the Streetwaters in attendance here today. Be sure and join us again for our next live In Wheel Time Car Talk Show next Saturday, June 11th, 2022. Oops, that's the wrong date. It's next Saturday, starting at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Central on all these in-wheel time Car Talk outlets. At the Tacos and Tailpipes Cruise In at Lupe Tortilla in Katy,
Or
Texas.
tailpipes and tacos.
Whatever. On the Grand Parkway at Kingston Boulevard. Right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. So long for now, everybody.